First of all, good morning. Since our gospel readings yesterday and today talk about the importance of the internal than the external, then today let's talk about the importance of prayerful silence. That is what's lost. Especially among our young people, that's our mission. That is what's lost. Prayerful silence. Why? Because the world is very noisy. The world is already very complicated. And that is why, as a former spiritual director of the youth in our diocese for 9 years as a youth spiritual director, I noticed that many of our young people prefer to join these non-Catholic religious sects that promote noise. Many of our young people prefer to join these praise and worship non-Catholic religious sects because they prefer noise than silence. That's from my perspective as a spiritual director for 9 years. Plus, these young people are brainwashed that our holy hour, our adoration chapels are boring. They are now brainwashing our young people that silence is boring. That's dangerous. That's alarming. In fact, when I was still a school chaplain for almost 3 years, I noticed that young kids, elementary, after the homily or within the Mass, they start moving. They become uneasy because they are not used to silence anymore. That's alarming for our young kids. Well, it's understandable because their homes are noisy. Their mobile games are noisy. Their school is noisy. Their TV and multimedia are noisy. Now, let's go back to the definition of silence. Listen. Silence is the language of God. We cannot listen to God's answers if we are noisy. Remember, God's answers are heard in silence. Let me give you a beautiful analogy. You try to peer on a basin of water, still water that's not moving. In Tagalog, dungaw. You try to dungaw. You try to peer on a basin of still water, not moving. Then you can see your face undistorted and clearly. As in a mirror. Am I right? But if you try to move the basin of water, your image becomes distorted and you cannot see your face clearly. That's it. It is only in still waters that we can see ourselves undistorted. And it is in silence that we can hear God's whisper in our hearts. It is only in silence that we can see ourselves clearly and hear God's answers in our hearts. So let me leave everyone an assignment. Actually, three assignments. I'm recording this homily right now. So parents online, listen, and all of us here, this is our challenge. Number 1, teach our young kids on the value of silence. Let's go back. Go back. Teach them about the value of silence. This is a difficult challenge. You try to bring your kids to the adoration chapel. Bring your kids. Try. This is a difficult challenge because they are not used to silence anymore. Bring your kids to the adoration chapel. Let them practice again the value of silence, of holy hour, of prayerful silence. That's number one. Teach them, teach our young the value of silence. Number two, come early and leave late. Come early before the Mass so that you will have few minutes of silence to prepare yourself, and leave late after the Mass so that after the Mass you sit down and spend quality silence. And number three, in our personal prayer, we always talk and talk and ask and talk and talk. Why not keep quiet and let God talk? Can we try that? Prayerful silence where we allow God to talk. So please do not forget our challenges, our assignments. Amen.